We're in our final lesson of Module 3, entitled Less Speed, More Groove. And this is something I often say to our band: less speed, more groove. Have you ever noticed how most songs that are recorded are a lot slower than you think they are? This is usually an optimal speed for that song in order to have all the parts work well. You can often deviate from the tempo of that recording, but you start to hear things unravel if you go too fast or too slow. And this is the relationship between tempo, rhythm, and groove. If you understand this and apply it, your band will sound tight and the song will be easier to sing and play, and sing along to. And the song will have a lot more life as well. After this lesson, you'll also have a better vocabulary for communicating with each other in the band if you understand these terms and how they work. So let's go. In this lesson, we're going to discover beat, tempo, rhythm, groove, why it's all important, and we'll have some personal application on this one as well. Everyone on the team should have an understanding of these. Singers and musicians need to know how this works. You need to be able to recognize it and adapt your playing or singing to fit. You may want to have your music glossary nearby that you downloaded from the last lesson if you hear me refer to something and you're not sure what it is. If I don't explain it here, there should be an explanation in that glossary. Let me also just start with a disclaimer here. What we're looking at in this lesson are very broad concepts with many applications in music. What I'm aiming for in this lesson is to give you a basic understanding of what to look out for in a song. I encourage further exploration of these musical concepts outside of this course, specific to your instrument. Now, the energy of a song comes from the right mix of speed or tempo, rhythm, and groove. You may hear someone say something like, "On the recording they have a much bigger sound," or "They do it a lot faster." That's often not true. In an attempt to capture some of that size and energy, we often play the song faster and it still feels flat. So let's take a look at each of these aspects that contribute to speed and energy of a song. First, we have the beat. The beat is the regular pulse or accent in the music. The beat is that thing that makes you want to tap your foot or your hand. In music, the beat is represented by notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those notes are divided up over bars, and that just makes it easier to read. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're unfamiliar with music, those lines can look complicated. But think of a beat or a note as a cake. We can divide that note into smaller pieces, and even smaller pieces. Don't get weighed down by the music notes. What I want to highlight is that music caters for rhythm by allowing us to divide the beat up, represented by notes of varying lengths. Depending on the rhythm, those beats can be one note or divided into many notes. The value of the note tells you how long to hold the note. The beat is also set to a tempo, which is the speed of the song. The most common time signatures in contemporary worship are 4/4, 3/4, and 6/8. These time signatures tell us how many beats of which value there are per bar, and where the accents are in the beat. Lyrics or melodies can be on the beat or off the beat. This will affect the rhythm of the song. Sometimes notes start just before the first beat of the bar. In music, we'd use a tie to write this. Many times notes don't start on the first beat. If you're singing every note on the beat, it can make the song sound very choppy. This is something you need to listen out for in songs and get used to identifying. And then we have tempo. Tempo is the speed of the song and how fast or slow you play it. Tempo is measured as beats per minute. The faster you want to play, the more beats per minute there will be. It's usually controlled by a click track or a metronome. And this gives you a consistent beat at a set speed that you can play along to. It takes some getting used to, but vastly improves your playing if you can get used to playing along to one. I'd encourage you to at least start practicing on your own to a click track, and even try a rehearsal with one. Even if it falls apart, it'll be a good lesson in tempo, and you can immediately hear how easily you speed up. A common problem in bands is that musicians speed up as we go through the song. That chorus or that big bridge, contrary to popular belief, is not actually faster than the verse. It's usually bigger in sound, but it's not faster. Or as I mentioned, we play the song too fast in order to try get some energy into it. But if we look at tempo, imagine our cake was a clock. The tempo dictates how fast we get to each piece. And then there's the rhythm. The AB Guide to Music Theory describes rhythm as how sounds of varying lengths and accentuations are grouped into patterns. The rhythm is how notes flow with the beat or the lyrics. Rhythm affects how and when you play your instrument and how the band play together. Part of what forms a rhythm are the rests, when you're not playing. In music, rests are shown with different symbols. Rests are like removing a piece of that cake to form a pattern. Things that should emphasize the rhythm would be the way the guitar strums, or when the drummer plays the kick drum, or when the bass player plays. Ideally, you want the bass and the kick to follow a similar pattern, and the guitar to complement that. There are some standard rhythm patterns in music, but there can be many variations depending on what you're trying to achieve. Get familiar with the common patterns. In music, notes are generally grouped into 2s and 3s, and the first beat is strongest. For example, usually the first beats and the third beats in a 4/4 bar are slightly stronger. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first being stronger than the third. And this is important when playing the beat, or strumming a rhythm, or singing a lyric. A 3/4 time signature will have a strong, weak, weak beat. Strong, weak, weak, giving it that waltz feel. And then there's groove. Groove is the feel of the song. Tempo and rhythm have an impact on the groove. When everyone is playing together and complementing each other, and the rhythm is working well with the lyrics, the song starts to groove. It has energy, no matter what the speed. Groove is important because we often play a song faster, too fast, to make it feel more energetic, and then the wheels come off because it loses life. The answer to energy in a song is the right mix of tempo, rhythm, and groove. It's everything that makes the song work. Dynamics, how loud and soft we play. And space, not playing when we don't have to, also play a part. A slower tempo allows space for the song to groove if you pay attention to the rhythm. I know it's a lot to take in if you're not familiar with music, but don't get weighed down by that for now. I have a resource for you on this that summarizes what we've talked about. You can download that from the download section to the right of this video in your members area. You now have a better idea of what to look and listen out for and do further study on. We may dive into these concepts more on the Facebook group where we have time to do that. In this lesson, we've covered beat, tempo, rhythm, and groove, and why it's all important. The personal application would be further study of each of these concepts in relation to your instrument. Learn to play and sing with different rhythms. This can be a case of just listening to what's being played more intently and actually learning how to play different rhythms. You may need some lessons or input from a stronger musician on your team. One of the best ways to get this into your head is to listen to the rhythm patterns in songs. The theory can be difficult to get your head around, but being able to hear and identify and play different rhythms will improve your playing and help your band gel together. We're into Module 4 next, where we talk about maximizing participation during times of worship. I'll see you there.